All right, folks, today's reaction I actually filmed a while back, like almost 2 years ago. This is my reaction to Bruce Springsteen's Lucky Town album. And going into this reaction, I'd heard some not great things about this record, but I actually really dug it. Ended up being one of my favorite Bruce Springsteen studio albums. And since reacting to this record, I have completed the entire Bruce Springsteen studio catalog, including tracks, plus several big live performances. I'm just starting to get into the documentaries, still doing some more live performances that I've never seen before. All those full reactions on Patreon. Unfortunately, it's really hard to get these full-length album reactions on YouTube because of copyright claims. So we've had to edit this down considerably for YouTube, and you're only going to hear 9 seconds per song on this reaction. But if you like what you hear and you want to check out the full reaction, $2 gets you a month access to all of our Bruce Springsteen reactions on Patreon, every studio album, all the live stuff I've checked out, a documentary I did a couple of months ago, and you'll have access to that for an entire month. So consider supporting us on Patreon. We cannot continue to do these reaction videos without the Patreon support. Also, be sure to like, subscribe, comment, click the bell for notifications on YouTube. And without further ceremony, here is my reaction to Bruce Springsteen's Lucky Town. Yeah, that was a great opener. It's funny just by the title, Better Days. I think I was expecting something like the past was better days, or better days in the past, or there's going to be better days in the future. But no, he was saying they're living better days right now. So that was unexpected when I had my head just based on the title. I want to go back and take a look at a couple of lines here. Earlier, let's see. It's like eating caviar and dirt. That was great. And he said it's like a rich man, a poor man's shirt. Really great songwriting there, just perfect. You immediately get the concept, eating caviar and dirt. Caviar is this high-end gourmet dish, and then dirt is something that you don't need to eat at all. It's not something edible at all. Then he comes down here, rich man, poor man shirt. Again, those are opposites. It's a rich man, but he's not wearing the clothes that match what he is. He's wearing a poor man's shirt. That's really great songwriting there. And let's see, he gets down here. I'm not sure. I didn't listen to the melody and chord progression, so I can't say whether this was a third verse or a bridge. I have to go back and listen. But that third section that wasn't a chorus, he says, "Tonight this fool's halfway to heaven and just a mile out of hell." Very, very poetic. And again, he's using this religious type imagery. And I said in the video, I'm not sure if he's doing this specifically, but if you say you're halfway to heaven, which is an expression, and then just a mile out of hell, mathematically, hell and heaven are only 2 miles away. So he's kind of saying that maybe they're closer than what you think. Not that I necessarily agree with that sentiment, but I thought it was a really well constructed line. Yeah, love that. Lyrically, musically, I liked the idea that he's talking about the present, that he's living better days right then because of the girl. And I'm going to say this was inspired by his marriage to Patty, is what I'm getting, particularly from what I've heard from people in the comment sections talking about what Bruce's life was at the time, what he'd gone through in the last few years, from the mid-'80s forward. Yeah, really, really strong opening track here. So let's go to track number 2. This is the title track, Lucky Town. Yeah, I like that a lot. I didn't like as much as the first track. His vocals sounded so different. I wondered, did they do the same technique they used on Hungry Heart, where they sped up his vocals slightly to make him sound a little bit higher pitched? Because that's what this sounded like to me. Not that there's anything wrong with that. Again, I loved his vocals here, but it sounded like sometimes Bruce can sound like Bob Dylan, and sometimes he channels a old school country vibe, and it's like he was doing both at the same time, but also like it didn't quite sound like Bruce. So I just wanted to let me know if they did anything to his vocals to make them sound like that on this track, like they did on Hungry Heart. But yeah, really enjoyed that so far. This is a roots rocking, country rocking type record. It's right up my alley. I so far much prefer this to Human Touch. All right, number 3, Local Hero. Track number 3, side A, Local Hero. Yeah! Yeah, that was great. Yeah, that's going to be a favorite for me of Bruce's. Has some really great lines here. I'm going to go back and take a look at a couple of them here. Let's see. So I asked in the song, it sounds like that he may even be talking about himself here, like he went back to his hometown and there's a picture of him between Bruce Lee and the Doberman, as he says here. I don't know, maybe that's not where he's going with this. And when you get to the bridge, he said, fit myself with a religion and a story to tell. First they made me a king. Okay, you got that. He's a local hero. They put him up on this pedestal. He's like the king. Then they made me the Pope. So this ties back in. He says, fit myself with religion and a story to tell. So he's like some kind of spiritual leader. It says, then they brought the rope. They're going to hang him now. So it's like he fell from that pedestal they had put him on. Really, really great stuff here. The music was kicking. I was grooving through the whole thing, having really a hard time making myself talk because I was just enjoying it. Yeah, good stuff. I'm really digging this record. Like, this is going to be, unless it just goes somewhere a completely different direction that's not my taste, I feel like this is going to end up being one of my personal favorite Bruce's. All right, track number 4, If I Should Fall Behind.
Wait for you, and if I should fall behind, wait for me.
Nice, yeah, I like this story. Great story. Oh, that was another great one. Obviously, this was a romantic song, but not in a cliche teeny bop type way. Very mature songwriting, a lot like Tunnel of Love dealt with the romantic theme here. He's saying here, so you got two people together and they're planning on getting married because the last verse here said that we soon we will be wed, and he's saying that they promise each other that if she falls behind for her hand, the first verse says, hand should slip free, I'll wait for you, and should I fall behind, wait for me. And we get down here to the last verse, or it's the third verse. It says, but you and I, now everyone dreams of a love lasting true, but you and I know what this world can do. So they know that there's a possibility that something may have to bring them apart, but he's saying if that happens, I'll wait for you, and asking her to, if that happens, don't give up on me, wait for me. Really, really great way to write a romantic song. The music again reminded me of like a Old West folk ballad in a way. His vocals channeling a lot of Dylan again there. Love the music, great instrumentation. Love the acoustic guitar here. It's mixed on the right side. I am really digging this record. This next song will be the end of side A, and I think we're going to get through the entire record here in one sitting because we're 23 minutes in and we're almost halfway through. So yeah, I'm going to try to get through this in one sitting. I think I got time for that. So let's get to it. This one is Leap of Faith.
It takes a leap of faith to get things going. It takes a leap of faith. You gotta show some guts.
Yeah, that one was catchy, right there in the same vein as really the rest of the record. I like the music. I wasn't too wild about the lyrics on this one, personally, because he's basically using all these religious references, which I usually love, but use them as a sexual type metaphor. That's not really my cup of tea. But the music was great. I get what he was doing here. But again, for me, lyrically, not my bag. So that was the end of side A. So we're moving on to side B. This is The Big Muddy. And I guess he's referring to the actual river, the Big Muddy. So let's get to it.
Sooner or later, it all comes down to money, and you're wasted in a big muddy.
Yeah. Yeah, so that was like a bit of a swamp rock track, kind of like a Fogerty swamper a little bit there. I liked it. I didn't like it as much as I liked most of the first half of the record, but it was really good. The lyrics here, it's talking about basically the fallen nature of man is what I'm getting here. And all the stuff, it says you start off on higher ground, but you end up crawling your waist deep in the big muddy. That's descending into doing stuff that you shouldn't do. And he says here toward the end, there ain't no one leaving this world, buddy, without their shirt tail dirty, their hands a little bloody, because everybody is gonna get into something that they shouldn't do and get themselves sold and bloodied here. Yeah, really, really good stuff. Like that one. Moving on, next is Living Proof. Yeah, that was a really great track. He mixed it up with the song structure for most of the record, where he just had that one refrain line. So that little harmonic coming up there on the right. Yeah, See, I wish they'd extended that on out. Love to heard a harmonica solo right there. Yeah, that was great. I love the music. I thought the lyrics were really good. He's talking about he was searching for God's mercy, searching for a little bit of God's mercy, and he found living proof. This also sounds to be like he could be talking about if he's not just writing a story, making a story up about somebody else's life or life in general. If he's talking about his own personal experience, again, it sounds like that his marriage to Patty and their family is the living proof that he found is what I got out of this if he's talking about himself. Up next is Book of Dreams.
Won't you, baby, be in my book of dreams?
Okay, got you. Yeah, nice, sweet little ballad. It sounds like he's talking about the night before the wedding. At the end, they get married. Yeah, really, really nice. Again, mature way to deal with the theme of love like he did on Tunnel of Love. Really enjoyed that. The overall music sound had a Nebraska vibe to it. Of course, it was far more produced than Nebraska, but his vocal style is there, the acoustic guitar, the melody, all very reminiscent of his songwriting style in Nebraska. Really enjoyed that track. All right, so we've got two left. This next one is Souls of the Departed. All right. Yeah, that one was, I liked it. I liked the music. The verses I thought were really good. The chorus, as I said, I felt like it could have been worded stronger. He could have delivered the theme, the point of the song a little bit stronger on the chorus lyrics. But also the theme really didn't match the music. Not that that's necessarily a bad thing. I think about CCR with Bad Moon Rising. It's a updated rockabilly style song about the apocalypse, and that works fine. This one, something about it just didn't. I didn't feel like that the mesh really hit it for me. But again, I didn't dislike it. It was just a little weird for me. Just a little weird with the lyrical content and the music. All right, so this is the last track of the record. This is My Beautiful Reward.
Searching for my beautiful reward.
Yeah, again, interesting closer. Bruce often closes these records with songs that I'm like, I wouldn't do that. It's not a criticism or not saying, oh, I know better than Bruce Springsteen or something like that, but it's just odd. They're odd closers to me. I'm not used to records that I listen to closing like he closes a lot of his records, and I don't think I would close mine like that. But then again, he's Bruce Springsteen and I'm me. So that song, really good. A nice, smooth ballad. This idea of searching for his beautiful reward, but he doesn't, throughout these lyrics, he's searching for his beautiful reward, yet there's nothing that the character in the song seems to have done to deserve a beautiful reward. So that's interesting. And he uses a lot of metaphors here. He says, your hair shone in the sun. I was so high. I was the lucky one that I came crashing down like a drunk on a barroom floor. Search for my beautiful reward. Yet why are you searching for your beautiful reward? What have you done? You think you deserve it without having done anything good in life? Because he doesn't talk about really having done anything. He's just looking for this. He saw gold diamond rings. That's not necessarily a great thing. If that's all you're focused on is searching for riches. My own drug to ease the pain that living brings. Obviously, his pain of life. Is that what he's wanting a reward for the pain he's been through? I don't know. I really like the song. I thought it was great. The whole record, really good stuff here. I mean, for me, this is way better than Human Touch. And I always try to separate my own subjective taste from an objective analysis. So I'm hoping I'm not just saying this is better because I liked it better, because it's really hard as human beings for us to separate the subjective from the objective. But I thought this was fantastic from top to bottom. There was only one song that I wasn't wild about. That was the lyrics. Let's see which one that was. The Leap of Faith lyrics wasn't really my bag. Other than that, everything else in this record is, for me, good to great. Really solid stuff. Hope you enjoyed that clip. If you did, consider supporting us on Patreon. Subscribe to YouTube if you hadn't already. And we'll see you soon.